So you've been sent to this video, or I've sent you to this video because you're interested in getting a start in voiceover, and this is the beginning of the conversation. This is dealing with the fundamentals. First of all, just a couple of things. For me, this is a video that is about embracing imperfections from my perspective, because I've been sniffly for the last few days. I've been really sensitive to temperature changes at the moment, so I know I sound nasal. And there's a bit of me that's anxious about that as a voiceover artist, but I'm not going to stress about that, because the important thing here is what I'm saying. It's not how I sound while I'm saying it. So I'm going to let that slide. I'm not going to worry about that. In terms of the structure of the video as well, there's always a vision in my head of what this could be that is better than what I'm putting together, because there's limited amounts of time. And again, the important thing is what I'm saying, not whether I'm pointing up at points that are around and things are sliding in and out and all of that. You know, we're not doing an explainer video. Well, I am explaining stuff, but it's not a professional explainer video, if that makes sense. So, now a caveat as well. What I'm talking about here is purely what's worked for me. This is what makes sense to me. I can only speak to that. That doesn't mean that this is going to work for you or that it is the only way of doing things. Be really leery of people who tell you there is only one way to do something. One of the great things about working in a creative field is that the way that everyone approaches it, the way that everyone reaches it, is so varied in terms of how we get there. It's one of the delights about working in a creative field. There's that variation there. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to convince you that, based on my credits or based on how long I've been doing this, that you should listen to me, because neither of those really, I think, again, I'm kind of distrustful of people whenever they tell you, well, I've been doing this for 15 years. And, if that's the first thing that people reach to in terms of justifying what they're saying, yeah, I don't know. So let's get down to it. That's the preamble done. So first of all, first thing you're going to do, figure out which genre of voiceover you want to work in. So by genre, I mean e-learning, narration, video games, animation, medical narration, audio books, explainer videos. What is it that you're going to start with? Radio imaging. There's a whole bunch of fields out there. Each of these fields requires different skills. Excuse me. See, there you go, embracing imperfections. Video game performance is nowadays more grounded and realistic than you will often get in animation, which is more heightened. Animation requires a lot of you in terms of melding together both your performance with your lines and the reality of the world that you're in one thing. As part of your line, you might be needing to honor what is happening to the character because it's so much more heightened. Different requirements, different mediums, different expectations. You're going to figure out which of those you want to work in first, because that is going to allow you to focus your efforts in finding clients, in finding coaches, in understanding the medium. That's going to allow you to build a reputation in that area. If you say, and I'm sure that you can work in any field, but if people say, okay, so you're a voiceover artist, what do you do? And you say, well, I can do anything. It's generalized. Our brains kind of slide off that. But if you answer that question with saying, well, I specialize in medical narration, but I also do character work in video games as well. It's specific. It shows people that you have an understanding of the market as a whole and where you fit in it as a beginning. It's not a box that you're going to be constrained within, but it is a beachhead for you storming across the voiceover industry and taking it by storm. So figure out where you want to start first. If you don't know, there are really good introductory courses that you can do. Excuse me for a moment, the sniffles are calling again. Now, if you're not sure even what genres exist, there are good introductory courses that you should be able to find either local to you or over the internet that will allow you to do kind of a Whitman sampler of a bunch of different fields and see what you like. What do you have skills in? Take it slowly. It's kind of like high school. You don't need to commit to a given field straight away. Because remember, this is going to focus your efforts in terms of coaching. This is going to focus your efforts in terms of marketing. So it doesn't need to be an immediate decision, but you want to work towards figuring out where is your beachhead. Where is the field that is going to become your breadbasket that you can then use to fund your expansion into other genres? Now, learn from me on this one. If you're not working in commercial as well, add that to your list. I moved over to working in voice acting from working in IT. And I worked for a lot of companies that I didn't feel were making a positive change in the world. And so when I started out in voice acting, I made a conscious decision to avoid commercial because I didn't want to be selling things to people. I was worried about the ethical concerns of that. But overall, working in commercial VO, so being part of the engine that sells things to people, allows you to stay closer to the work that you love, to fund the rest of what you do. You might consider it to be a necessary evil. You might love commercial. Who knows? I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of, great commercial work out there that is ethically unconflicted for you. So figure out, have a think about, ethically, what do you and don't you want to do? But yeah, for the love of God, add commercial to the list in terms of the genres that you're working in, because it is the most lucrative out of all VO fields. Don't make my mistake. Now, when you're finding coaches, point number 2. So when you're looking for coaches, you're going to want to work with people who are booking work in the industry, in the area that you're looking at working in currently. You want to know that they're getting work, because that's going to assure you that not only can they give you a foundation based on the work that they've done in the past, their experience in the field, but their understanding of the industry, their understanding of that area is current, and it's going to help you get work as well in that area. So if you're working with someone who is an e-learning coach or an audiobook coach, you want to know that they're out there booking work with e-learning, with audiobooks, whatever the area is. You might work with generalist coaches as well, and you should work with coaches that are going to help you with elocution, with breathing. Work with general voice coaches. I've been blessed with working with an incredible acting and voice and dialect coach for over, a long time now. Anyway, the number of years is unimportant, but it's been invaluable in terms of how it's accelerated what I've been doing. I'm a huge advocate of working with coaches. Pat Fraley, to name drop, says, and it's great, it's a great piece of advice. He doesn't say to hit the microphone, by the way, but I just thought I'd do that one. I didn't, it was an accident. But yeah, Pat Fraley says, you can learn by experience, but it's the slowest way possible, and we don't have the time. Why go through learning the same set of lessons that these people have learned getting into the industry when you can benefit from the incredible wealth of experience that is out there? I focused on video games to begin with when I got into the industry, because it was the area that excited me the most from a performance perspective, and I took the opportunity to train under people like Crispin Freeman, like Dave Fennoy, like Scott Burns, and Pat Fraley, and I've learned incredible things from them, and it's benefited me tremendously in terms of how I approach the work. So I can't recommend working with coaches enough. Train. Find coaches who are going to show you what you should be doing, and train. Then, when you're ready, point number 3, get a demo. Get a demo made professionally. Now, this is one that I get a bit cranky about. I'm very strongly opinionated. If nothing else, in this one area, I'm probably the most strongly opinionated. Do not make your own demo. You are early in your journey as a voice actor. The skills that go into making a good demo reel encompass, well, I'm not going to be presumptuous here, but I'm going to assume that you're not, that you don't have expert skills in audio engineering, in copywriting, in directing, in mastering, in understanding what the expectations are for a demo reel as well. It's a lot of hats to put on your head. And it's much better to work with someone who has an understanding of what the industry expectation is at this point in time. So find someone who comes recommended, maybe via one of your coaches, maybe via a colleague. But when you're at the point in time where you feel like you are ready to make a demo, get it made professionally for the love of all that is holy. Your demo reel is your calling card that you put out there somewhere, wherever that is, and it is going to work on your behalf, whether that's pay-to-play sites, whether that's your personal website, wherever it is that you're putting it. That demo is working for you while you're asleep. So you want it to be as professional as possible. You only get one chance to make a first impression with people, and a poorly made demo. There are a lot of folks out there who make demos that basically calling them sort of an exercise. It's really dangerous because demo is a loaded word. And if you put something that you've made yourself and call it a demo reel and put that out there in the world, then you're educating clients about who you are at that point in time. If you're not ready for it, and if you don't understand what goes into making a demo reel, you're going to wrong foot that whole experience of working with that particular client. You get one chance to make a first impression. Don't confuse people. Confused mind says no. So make it as simple as possible by getting an excellent demo reel. Also, one of the reasons why you don't want to make your own demo reel is your demo reel is meant to be you on your best day, your absolute best day. Like, you will need to be able to reproduce the work that is in that demo reel when you're in a directed session or by yourself. So it can't be cobbled together from hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different takes in order to get that one mint go through of that particular piece of copy. But the difference that it can make, having an experienced director with you to guide you through the copy, to assist you in understanding, like, what's the absolute sweet spot to go through this? Where are the traps that I don't want to fall into? That's the difference that having a good demo producer can make. So you want that person on your side. All you want to be thinking about is just your performance on that day. You're going to have copy that is going to be professionally produced, whether it's taken from existing ads, which is fine, like, that's not an issue. If it's been used in the past for other clients, then as long as it's not dated, as long as it's still basically in the idioms of how things are working in the field at the moment, it's fine. But you're going to have copy that has been selected for you, so you're not going to have to worry about navigating your own words, hey, unless you're a professional copywriter, in which case, that's a skill you can bring to the table, but you can do that working with a professional demo producer. Long story short, there's a lot of hats you have to wear in order to put together a decent demo. Don't make life difficult for yourself. Focus on the thing that you do, which is being an excellent voice actor, and get a demo produced professionally. Get a website as well. Have a place where people can find you. Keep it brief. Put your demo there. Contact details. How can people find you? One thing that's come out recently again and again, and I think it's a really important point, is don't make it difficult for people to contact you. If you've got an email address, then suck up the fact that you might get spam if it's available, if it's listed on your website. List it on your website so that people can one-click contact you. I've definitely had situations recently where I've been casting for clients and I've found it difficult to reach people. And so there have been, in some cases, people where I haven't reached out to them in order to add them to a casting call because it hasn't been easy to get the information I needed. So make it easy for people to contact you as well. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? We're at some number of minutes here. Again, embracing imperfections, not worrying so much about getting this pitch perfect. I think one thing that you really want to keep in mind as well is that working in voiceover is a long game. Working as a freelancer in any field is a long game. You're going to put the word out there about what it is that you do gently when you talk to people. Don't be abrasive, don't be pushy, don't be putting business cards in people's hands, but let people know what it is that you do. In conversations, if people ask, let them know. Be consistent. Follow up with people over time. Remind them what it is that you do. Over time, you'll get a reputation for being a voiceover person. Hey, there's that voiceover person there. We need a voiceover person. Let's talk to this person here. So in some cases, and I've definitely had this happen, you will get work from people that you have talked to years ago at networking events. You've gone to networking events because you understand where your clients in your particular industry can be found, and you've built genuine relationships with them as opposed to coming in with your hand out asking. But yeah, you'll have conversations that'll bear fruit years down the path. And that's a blessing when it happens. It's a little reminder from the universe that you've been holding the faith for that long. So yeah, enjoy it when it happens. Okay, so recapping, going back to the start. First of all, figure out which genre you want to work in. Where is it you want to work in voiceover? Start there. That's not going to be the box that you're going to go into, but it is going to be your beachhead. That's going to be what you're going to start from. 2, find coaches who work in that field, who are booking in that field. Work with them, train hard. It is going to be a long game when it comes to training. Then 3, when you're ready, get a demo made professionally by someone who is putting out demos for people who are doing the kind of work that you want to be doing. Make sure that people can find you. Get a website, put your demo there. Keep it brief. Put your contact details up there. Make sure that people can find you. Last of all, it's a long game. So that's it from me. I hope that some of this has been of use to you. Now, if you've listened to this and you're starting to get questions following on from the information that's in here, if this has, and I hope that it has, answered some questions for you, but also raised others, there is a link that goes along with this video, or if you're on the Tavern of Voices website already, you can go up to the store page link up the top there, and there is a really easy way that you can book a half an hour of my time to sit down and have a chat. I'm always up for talking through more specifics with people. If you've got specific questions that you're looking for answers on, I'm more than happy to have a chat. I wish you the best of success in your voiceover journey. I would love to hear how things go for you down the track. Don't be a stranger. Here's to big things for you.